Hi. How are you? I hope that you are doing well, my loves. I hope the new year has treated you well. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nina, otherwise known as Sinfulpluto. It's been a minute for many reasons. I just got back from vacation, and then there's just been personal stuff that I've been fucking enduring. Or putting myself through. Anyways, that's not the fucking point. Hi, how are you? I hope that you're okay. I hope that you're treating yourself well. Cancers, how are you? I am possibly, perhaps, maybe, potentially bringing back monthly videos. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how it, happens. We'll see. All right. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm thinking, besides all this, I'm thinking about making a video, kind of like a video of like allowing myself to like be vulnerable. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. That's just awkward. But if you would like to see or hear, what I have been just like thinking about lately and just other stuff, if you want to hear that, let me know. I think maybe, I don't know. But anyways, let's just go ahead and get started with the video. Okay, Cancers, this is going to apply to Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Okay, in Tropical and Sidereal. If you don't know your tropical or your sidereal placements, or if you don't know any of your placements at all, you can go to astro.com. They'll help you with all of that. Okay, all right. I'm using Modern Witch Tarot. It's my favorite deck. I love it. I'll link it down below if you're interested. Okay. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Let's see what's in store for you. First, before I do, this is a general reading. It's not going to apply to everyone. Take it with a grain of salt. Please use your discernment, your critical thinking. All right. This is everything that I say here is not set in stone. Again, general reading. It's not going to apply to everyone. Take what, resonates, leave what doesn't. Roles might be reversed and whatnot. All right, so just keep that in mind, please. All right, let's go ahead and get started for you, Cancers, my little babies. All right. So what is in, oops. All right. So what is in store for Cancers for January 2020? What is in store for Cancers January 2020? What is in store for the Cancers? What do they need to know? What is the energy for Cancers the month of January 2020? What do they need to be expecting? We got to card 10 of Wands reversed. I like that. We have the 8 of Swords reversed. I like that. I really like that. I have the 9 of Cups. Fucking like that. I really dig that shit, brother. That's that good shit. We have the 6 of Pentacles. I'm into this, brother. I'm into fucking, like this. I like that a lot. We have the 3 of Wands, and then we also have the Star reversed. That's okay. This is Aquarius energy, so this could be you or another person, whatever the case might be. It's Aquarius fucking energy. Okay. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the 3 of Cups reversed, and then under that is the the Wheel of Fortune reversed. All right, so January is a time of purging for you, Cancer. All right, it's a time to release yourself from the mental prison in which you've trapped yourself. It is time for you to no longer carry the burdens of other people. It is no longer time. It is a time for you to no longer carry the burdens that you put on yourself. Because the 10 of Wands reverse is saying, or the 10 of Wands in general, should I say, the 10 of Wands in general says that you've taken on a lot of weight on your shoulders, whether it's the weight of other people, whether it is the burdens of other people, whether it's your own burdens, or whether it's just like things that you've created for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's just things that you put on your own shoulders just because. And what I mean by that is just like extra stress that you don't need to be adding on, and like all of this sort of unnecessary stuff that you don't really need to be thinking about, and like doesn't really have any sort of place in your, it doesn't deserve or is not worth any sort of place in your mind. And like things that were never meant for you to carry in the first place. It's just like, it just feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you really don't be needed. You don't need to be doing that, okay? It's not your job, all right? You're not getting paid to do that. There's no reason for you to be doing this, all right? What point are you trying to make? Like, you have strong shoulders. You can build strong shoulders another way, okay? You don't need to be carrying the weight of other people or like just unrelated stressors just because you want strong shoulders, okay? There are other ways, okay? Try working out your shoulders another way, okay? But basically this talks about a need to release the burdens that you've been carrying, because everything that you have been holding on to, that you have been feeling really burdened with. This reminds me a lot of like the root chakra. So like security stuffs, like safety sort of things, all of that, whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. All of that sort of stuff, it's just not worth it. And you have been losing sight of your goals and of your ultimate, forms of aspirations and whatnot, because of these burdens that just do not need to be carried by you. You don't have to take on other people's problems, and you also just don't need to add on to your plate by just creating this like random things that suddenly are worth stressing over, because they're not. The Eight of Swords reversed also just talks about like liberating yourself from like the mental prison in which you've created, right? That's what I just said earlier. This is growing out of complacency. This is growing out of the idea that you are helpless, or that you are powerless, or that you have no choice in this world, or that you are completely out of control. I promise you that is quite the opposite, and you have a lot more power than you believe, and then a lot more power that you grant yourself credit. And so it's time, I think in January, it's definitely time to be stepping out of that. And I love how the Three of Wands is right under the Eight of Swords, because this is liberation, this is freedom, this is independence, this is expansion, this is being your own person, this is spreading your wings, this is reclaiming your power. And I love that these cards are like stacked on top of each other, because it only makes sense that they are, you know what I mean? And so I think January is definitely a time where you're being encouraged to step out of like this mopey, wallowing in your own misery sort of energy, which, I mean, if a lot is going on, I get it. You're allowed and you're validated. You're valid to feel whatever it is that you feel. But if you're just like sitting in bed saying, woe is me, but you're not doing anything to change the way in which you frame the world around you, or like trying to actively like change your perspective, or like do anything to at least change your inner environment, you're not really doing much for yourself, you know what I mean? And so January is definitely a time for you to like step out of that. Maybe December you were definitely feeling that. Or maybe even the beginning of January, you've been feeling this way because you feel like there's just so much for you to do, but you don't know where to start, or you just feel like there's nothing in your hands, or whatever the case might be, maybe having some sort of crisis. I don't know. Whatever the case is, January is definitely a time for you. January is encouraging you, or the universe is encouraging you in January to step out of this, to reclaim your power, to, free yourself from like this little box that you've put yourself, and to no longer allow yourself to be limited by your own, self-deprecating beliefs and whatnot. And the Nine of Cups is saying how, you could really make a lot happen for yourself once you step out of this Eight of Swords, Ten of Wands sort of energy, and just like allow yourself to be free and liberated, and no longer allow yourself or even others to limit you. Obviously easier said than done. Yes, I am aware, but you have to kind of work on being focused and diligent and not allowing yourself to be distracted by the easy things. And the easy thing is to mope around. The easy thing is to wallow in your own misery. The easy thing is to feel bad for yourself. The easy thing is to expect others to feel bad for you. The easy thing is complacency and not doing anything. I get it. I do it all the time. Like, not all the time. Let me not expose myself like that. But I do it, and I've done it. And it always comes back to, like, I need to help myself. I need to do more for myself. Like, I need to step out of this, because what good does this do for me? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've been, like, crying myself to sleep for, like, 3 days in a row. Okay? Like, it's been a lot of stuff internally that I'm, like, putting myself through. And it's literally me. I'm doing it to myself. Like, I'm such a fucking masochist, I swear to God. But it's me doing it. Obviously, everyone else's circumstances are different, okay? But we all have a choice in how we decide to approach certain things, okay? And deciding to be a pessimist about everything, deciding that there is no hope, deciding that there's nothing that we can do about it, then yeah, we won't see those things. We won't see the opportunity to do something for ourselves, because we decided that there's not any. And that's like a big theme that I see for you Cancers, is like learning to have hope and to maintain hope and diligence, and keeping focus on your North Star. And the reason why I say that is because I have the star reversed, right? This to me is saying how, you internally, or even externally, whatever the case might be, you've gone through a lot, right? Your emotions are going up and down. Maybe you're feeling really moody. Maybe you're really just feeling really hopeless, powerless, like you don't have a choice. Maybe there's a lot going on for you, Cancer. I get it. And maybe because of that, you have lost hope in terms of reaching your North Star, or in terms of like reaching some sort of goal or aspiration. I understand. But the thing is like the universe is always working on our side, and we always have to remember that. I even have to remind myself that a lot, especially recently. But it's necessary. And the star is kind of saying, we need to refocus again, because there's so much that we can live up to, and there's so much potential. We have the 9 of Cups. There's so much potential, especially in the month of January, that we can live up to. And there are so many seeds that we can plant, so that in the future, those seeds can eventually bloom and blossom, and we succeed in the long term. Like, there's so much that we could be doing, but we have to maintain that sense of direction, and we have to remind ourselves why we are here in the first place, why we are on this path in the first place, whether it's like us following our dreams or our aspirations or this certain job or project. Like, we have to remind ourselves the reason we're doing what we're doing, right? Sometimes we lose that sense of like purpose. We need to remind ourselves of our purpose, whatever this might be for us, and whatever we deem, or whatever you deem your purpose to be, And so it's needing to like recalibrate ourselves and moving forward with that, and liberating ourselves from our own mind and like from our own ego, and realizing that we are more than our ego. We are more than just our mind. We are more than just what is in front of us or whatever. Okay, we are more than that. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles, which to me kind of just reads as like learning how to prioritize our shit. Like, especially with this 10 of Wands reversed here, this to me just like screams like learning how to prioritize our time, or like our burden, so to speak. Like learning how to prioritize what is important, what is not important, what requires immediate action, what requires immediate focus or attention, and what doesn't. And when we realize what doesn't require a lot of attention, we see how much time we have been investing in things that just like never really mattered, or just don't have that much importance. And we have been placing far too much time, investment, attention, whatever it is, into these things, and not enough time on the things that actually matter. It's a time to really realign our focus and like start focusing on the things that actually matter, and focusing on the things that will help us in the long run. And this to me is like picking favorites. Not like in a bad way where it's like you're picking favorites over like 2 people, but it's like choosing what you choose to invest in or what you desire to invest in. Does that make sense? What do you want to prioritize? What do you want to place your attention on? It's that sort of thing. And this is also talking about like reciprocation. And I think learning to, especially like in personal or interpersonal relationships, should I say, learning to have like, and to demand reciprocation and equality within your relationships rather than bending your back backwards, trying and like taking on the burdens of other people, trying to make them happy or impress them or whatever the case might be. Okay. Relationships are a two-way road. And sometimes in relationships, it might be that it could be unequal at times for whatever reason that may be. But for the vast majority of these relationships, whether it's platonic, romantic, familial, job related, whatever it is, they require reciprocation. They require an equal investment of energy. It shouldn't be one person doing all of the work, doing 80% of the work, and then the other person doing 20% or even 10%. That's not fair. And reciprocation, equality, equal investment is necessary. We need a mutually beneficial relationship. And like, if you're not having that, you need to like reevaluate yourself and reprioritize, okay? And it could even be that some of you feel trapped or complacent or burdened by some sort of relationship in your life, in which case, heed this advice. Work on reclaiming your power and demanding equality and reciprocation and mutually beneficial relationship. And if that person is not willing to put in more effort than they are putting in, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? That's really what I, have to say. I feel like this is definitely a time of independence. This is a time of prioritizing yourself over other people. And this doesn't mean that you're being selfish. I really hate this whole notion, this whole trope, if you will, that you're being selfish by taking care of yourself and putting your needs first. There are definitely cases where people are literally being selfish and like not taking other people's things into consideration, but that's different from prioritizing your own needs as a human being. And the Three of Cups reversed at the bottom of the deck is saying that 3 is a crowd right now, or even like 2 is a crowd right now. This to me just reads as like you needing to be on your own. Three of Cups reversed tells me that you might be surrounded by superficial relationships. You might be surrounded by some just superficial stuff in general, or too much gossip, too much just mierda. You know what I mean? Like just too much stuff, right? And the Three of Wands is saying how, like you gotta just be on your own for a little bit. Just be your own person. Be independent. Think for yourself. Do for yourself. Be for yourself, right? This Nine of Cups, like, be your own person. You don't have to share everything with everyone. You don't have to, give all of your gifts and beauty and all of this wonderful stuff that you have to other people. You can indulge in the things that you enjoy. You can indulge in your own success, in your own, like, really just good energy, You don't have to give everything to others first. You can give it to yourself first. So that's just like one thing, you know what I mean? So that's really what I have for you, Cancer. I hope that this resonates. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that this advice is helpful in any sort of way. And I encourage you to share this with any other Cancer that you have in your life who needs to hear this advice for the month of January. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, family, loved ones, or anyone who needs to hear this. They don't even have to be a Cancer. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload these videos. And let's see. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. I have like a bunch of new services. I have like a month ahead reading, a week ahead reading, and like a bunch of other really cool stuff. It's great. So check that out. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Anything else that you need to know will be linked down below. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear. And with that being said, I love you. Have a wonderful January. Please take care of yourselves. Please put yourself first. Doesn't mean you're being selfish. Don't be a pushover. And that's it. I love you, Cancers, and I'll talk to you later.